This week on the channel, I want to talk about defining your value as an entertainer and how my big mouth ended up being the topic of another musician-focused podcast. What's going on, everybody? My name is Adam. I hope you're doing well. A couple of weeks ago, I made a video about contracts and why every band should have one. In the process of promoting that video on social media, I got mostly positive feedback from the musician community, but there were others who were absolutely flabbergasted at the prospect of using a contract when performing. One commenter said that a band with a contract may get a reputation for being hard to work with. Another said that a client shouldn't have to feed you if they're paying you a set price. Now, in the exchange of clarifying or backing up what I said, I made the following comment: "We're the entertainment, not the help." Well, that line was memorable enough that Paul and Dave from the Gig Gab podcast spent an entire section of their episode this week to discussing and unpacking what they thought I meant by that. Now, first up, I just want to say that I'm absolutely flattered that anybody cares about anything I have to say. But I also felt like it was a good opportunity to provide an explanation for that comment and what I meant by it. So here goes. You should feel empowered to say no. Musicians fall into an interesting spot. On one hand, you are hired to provide a service that is uniquely yours in the way that you provide it. On the other hand, you are also in the customer service industry. So there's this push and pull between doing something that not everybody is capable of while providing a product that's easy to consume for the public. This is a place where branding is important. And to be clear, I'm not talking about your promotional material. This branding is the way that you present yourself to a person hiring you, not what you post on social media or your website. When you're in the private event business, the ultimate goal for your band should be professionalism. One of the ways that you can achieve that is by providing a thorough contract and rider so the client understands how you prefer to do things. On that note, I do offer a blank contract for bands who are interested in that kind of thing. There'll be a link for that in the description. By definition, contracts are starting off points. There will be clients who read through your contract and are totally fine with the terms, and you get it signed and returned without any follow-ups. There may be clients who read through it and find that there are things that they can't provide. That is 100% expected in this kind of business. Maybe the venue doesn't have enough space for your stage dimensions. That same venue may also have a no alcohol policy for vendors. These are all perfectly acceptable items to negotiate. Almost every section of my band's contract is open for discussion. That being said, there may also be clients who push back on having to provide a rider or special considerations for you and your band. That is a massive red flag to me. I've been playing music professionally for over 20 years, and I've determined what factors are necessary for me and my bandmates to have enough time to set up our gear, get a good mix, and prepare for our performance. If a client sees those requests and has an issue with providing them, it tells me that they don't necessarily value the people required to provide the service that they are asking for. That is a problem for me. For private events and weddings, you are potentially looking at 8 to 10 hours on site. In some circumstances, these locations are not close to any other spots that you can get food and beverage. I've driven 6 hours to a wedding gig where the reception was literally at the end of a dirt road. I've also been in a 9-piece band that played a very high-end corporate holiday party where the client literally dropped a reheated vegetable lasagna in our dressing room with no plates, napkins, or utensils. Just a lasagna on a table. Maybe we use our hands. I'm not sure what they were thinking. That client also skimped on production, and we had one monitor mix to split between everybody, including a full horn section. Compound travel time and setup with these kinds of gigs, and your somewhat cushy pay rate gets whittled down to a pretty meager hourly wage. I've gotten to the point in my career that in order for a gig to be worth taking time away from my family, it needs to pay well and be as low stress as I can possibly make it. Scrambling to find a place to eat post soundcheck pre-downbeat does not fit in that scenario. Now, I'm not saying that musicians have to be treated the same as guests at the events that we play, but musicians deserve some basic creature comforts in order to put on a good show. If you feel uncomfortable asking for those things, reflect on why. Do you feel like you don't deserve those kinds of perks? If so, why do you feel that way? There are many in the musician community that suffer from low self-esteem and imposter syndrome. I am no exception. Getting to this point took a lot of hard work and practice on my end. It also put me in a position where I had to be willing to turn down work that didn't meet my expectations. That can be a hard pill to swallow for people in our line of work, but ultimately it paid off. By believing in myself and standing up for my bands, I was able to build an agency that's financially self-sufficient, that lets me play as much as I want to, while also providing good paying gigs for other musicians in my market. So in conclusion, We're the entertainment, not the help is not a dig on people in the service industry, nor is it an arrogant retort. It's a mantra you should use in the way that you conduct your business to make sure that you value your talents and that others do the same. That's going to do it for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We post new videos here every single Friday. Also, just a reminder, if you or your band are looking into performance contracts, I do have a blank one on my web store. A link for that is in the description. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you next time.